Hello, everybody. Good to see you all. See if Mike isn't here. Well, let's go ahead and get started. How about Katrina? Can you say the offer the mandala in Russian for me, please? Or can you do it in Tibetan?
Hello, welcome, Sumati. Yes, I can.
Okay, please do.
In Russian.
Your choice.
Вот огромная земля, наполненная ароматом благовоний, укрытая покрывалом из цветов. Великая гора, 4 континента, украшенные драгоценными камнями, солнцем и луной. В своем сознании вижу их раем Будды и подношу их все тебе. И с этим деянием пусть каждое живое существо ощутит чистый мир. Идам гуру ратмандалакам нирьятаями.
I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, and the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, from the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, I will attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the song of the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, may I attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, compassion, knowledge, and strength, the Dharma, the enlightened side of truth, and the song of the community of realized beings. From the virtuous merit I create from the practice of giving with the understanding of emptiness, moral discipline with the understanding of emptiness, patience with the understanding of emptiness, joyous effort with the understanding of emptiness, concentration and wisdom, I will attain the state of a Buddha for the benefit of all living beings. Okay. So we have some rejoicing to do before I get started on class. Let's see. Katrina, how about rejoicing? What do you have to rejoice about today?
Светлана, can you help me? Я радуюсь тому, что у нас хорошая погода, теплое, солнечное лето. Люди больше улыбаются. Радуюсь, когда могу сделать что-то хорошее для других, когда люди благодарят после занятия, говорят, что у них что-то улучшилось, состояние, самочувствие. Вот. Радуюсь, что мы сегодня занимаемся.
Oh, well, I'm rejoicing you're in class today. Good. Okay, let's go with Svetlana. What do you have to rejoice in? Very good. Very good. So are you getting paid twice as much? Well, but good for you for tackling it and doing the best you can. I never got paid what my wife thought I should be paid. A scientist in the university doesn't get paid the same as a scientist who works for a company. But I uh, I didn't worry so much about the money. We didn't have kids, so I didn't have to worry about saving for a college education and stuff. So I just enjoyed what I did. Okay, Daria, are you able to do rejoicing or are you not going to rejoice?
Good morning, Venerable Sumati. Yes, I rejoice. I started to write to my notebook about my rejoice, and I have a lot of rejoice. And today I stopped my annoyed for my boss. It's very difficult, and I started to angry to her, but save myself. Okay, stop. It's very destroyed for you and for other people.
Well, catching yourself and stopping is the important first step. That's for sure. I find myself getting more and more frustrated with little things that weren't frustrating me before. So I confess that my frustration level has gotten higher, and I'm going to, as of today, catch myself and stop getting frustrated. But we're not on my rejoicing. Okay, let's go Svetlana number 2. What do you have to rejoice?
У меня есть чему порадоваться.
I
Во-первых,
have
я рада, что
something
я
to
вас
rejoice.
вижу.
First of all, I am
Это
rejoicing
первое.
that I can see you and I'm with
Второе,
you.
моя дочь
The secondly,
16-летняя, младшая,
my daughter,
вроде
16
бы
years
сдала
old, youngest
последние
one,
экзамены
she passed the last
в
exam
школе.
at school,
И
and
мы получили оценки по двум
we
экзаменам по
received
пятерке.
marks for
И
2
я
exams.
очень
It is
счастлива.
excellent, and I'm
И жду
very
остальные
happy.
оценки.
And
Но
we are
экзамены уже
waiting
все
for
закончились.
the
Ура!
rest marks, but all exams finished. Congratulations. Yay.
Wow, congratulations. I'm glad she's doing so well. She's 15,
16.
16.
16. So when I was 16, it was
Когда мне было
1969. I was in 8th grade. Does she have any idea what she wants to do for a living?
Она занимается профессиональным волейболом.
she is professional volleyball player.
No, get out of here. Really?
Да,
Wow,
она
I
имеет
played
высокий
volleyball.
разряд по волейболу.
She has a high status in volleyball and lots of achievements.
Wow. How tall was she?
К сожалению, не очень.
Unfortunately, not very tall. 1 meter and 75 centimeters. She wants to be taller.
Is she a setter?
Она играет все, но она не
She's
либеро.
playing everything, but she's not.
Не либеро.
She's not libera. Not libera, but she's playing everything. She is not a receiver, but who is playing out, but not a receiver.
Она делает все.
Okay, she's a
But she's
setter.
doing everything.
She's set.
Setter.
И подает, и разыгрывает,
Yes,
и бьет.
she's setter
Yes.
and hitting and yeah.
My lovely wife was a setter, and she played for the University of California, Riverside. women's team. I played for the men's team, and boy, I love volleyball. I really liked volleyball. So, well, I'm glad she's doing well and in school. That's great. Okay. Let's see who's next.
Ура!
Okay. Tatiana, what you have to rejoice in? Thank you for the pictures of your mother, by the way. They're quite lovely.
Добрый вечер,
Good evening,
дорогой Лама
dear
Сумати.
Lama Sumati. Hello, everyone.
Я рада,
I'm
что
happy that
порадовала вас немножко
I give some joy to you
нашей фотографией.
by our photos.
Я видела фото, что вам вручили
I
медали. Я очень
saw photos
за вас
that
рада.
you were awarded
Думаю,
with
что
medals
студенты
and awards,
просто
and
счастливы
I'm
от вас,
very
что вы
happy for you, and I believe that every student is very happy to rejoice about you.
Oh, thank you. I didn't realize some pictures of my medals made it into social media.
Есть такое.
Yes, it is.
Еще
Oh,
хочу
good.
порадоваться тому, что еще немножко, и мы
Also, I would
завершаем.
like to rejoice that a little bit and we will finish
У нас
ACI
осталось
8 teacher
буквально
training. We
полмесяца.
have only half of the month to finish it.
Oh, very good. Well, we'll finish. Today's class is pretty short, but I need to do more of my rejoicing. One of my students here in Tucson has purchased some property to build a retreat cabin. And so he needs some help with the water system. And it's bringing me great joy to bring back memories of setting up the water system for Diamond Mountain and setting up his system so it's free from the animals bothering it or weather conditions. That's going to be a lot of fun. So I have a drone and we're going to use it to map his property because we're looking for some specific things. And so aerial photography will help with that. So I was out flying it a couple of days ago and I got it to 70 meters and it almost disappeared. Now there was a vulture flying around up there. So I decided I probably shouldn't have it flying near a vulture. So I brought it home. But boy, that thing was up in the air. It's really tiny. 70 feet's pretty high up. 28 meters would be 84, roughly 84 feet. Yeah, 8-story building. So anyway, it was a lot of fun. So I'm lucky. I'm so fortunate to have such wonderful students, and I'm pretty close to getting ready to do another lecture on some of my history on Thursday. That's finally prepared. So then I'll devote the next week, month and a half to getting ready for the teachings in Romania and Armenia. That's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, well, let's get on with the remainder of the death meditation issues. Okay, so the next one, we know the first one is we are going to die. The second one is the time of death is uncertain. So lifespans aren't fixed. And that means there's an implication in the Abhidharma Kosha that there must be places where lifetimes are fixed. But our world is not like this. We seem to think that because the average lifespan of a human, an American, is approximately 72 years, that we're all going to make it to 72 years. But obviously that's not necessarily true. So we need to keep aware of that. The time of death is uncertain. This is the pervasive suffering we've talked about in the past. You're dying the minute you're born. And the other part of the pervasive suffering is you don't know what karma is going to ripen next. So you have to be aware of that. I'm not particularly frightened about which karma is going to ripen next. And I don't know why I'm not. That's just all a big adventure to me, no matter how frustrating it gets. So the nature of our karma is to fluctuate, and our planet's lifespans fluctuate over the 80,000 years to 10,000 years to 80,000 years. We have no way of really appreciating the lifespan of 80,000 years. There have been several movies. I think the movie is called Adele. It was about a woman that was immortal and how frustrating that would be to live so many lives and see friends come and go. It would really be a challenge. As our morality degenerates, our lifespans fall. So, Trizon Kappa points out the day-to-day level of death seems to be random. There's no predicting what or when our past behaviors will ripen in this life. Being good in this life doesn't necessarily mean you live a long life in this life, but it does count toward future lives. That's why I really stress, and I think it's important to remember that your past is your present and the present is your future. So we don't know what we did in the past. We obviously, because we're getting Dharma teachings from a teacher like Geshe Michael, we helped others by educating them in the past, and that's ripening now. So if we want to get teachings in the future, we need to provide teachings now, which we are doing, you are doing as you finish ACI teacher training level 8. You're getting ready to be able to teach it. So that's setting the seeds for your future. So just remember, the past is your present, and the present is your future. Two, things that will kill you are many. Things that will keep you alive, not so much. Things that can kill you are divided into two: living things, people, animals, bacteria; inanimate things, cars, stuff like the four elements. That's why in the living room, in the meditation, you're looking around for what might kill you. And you look at that coffee table, and if you've tripped and fell, which is the kind of thing that's going to happen to me one of these days, I could hit my head against the sharp edge of a glass coffee table or something like that and really hurt myself. So something as innocent as a inanimate and non-threatening as a coffee table could be what kills me. We don't have anything like that in our house for just that reason. So the inanimate things are cars, are the four elements. The four elements are hardness and solidity, fluidity and wetness, heat and burning, and the energy of dissipation. The four elements are the basis for the Chinese medicine, is the four elements are working in your body and are in conflict with each other. So health in Chinese medicine is when there's a balance of the four elements. Illness, disease, is when the four elements are out of balance, which is maybe 99% of the time. So an example of when I go into the hospital, I never think I'm not going to come out. It doesn't occur to me. I'm in an American hospital. It's clean and efficient, and the surgeons are well trained. So I never think I won't come out. But Jim Henson, are you familiar with the show, The Muppets? No? Well, he's a cartoon. They were puppets that had it's a long story. Anyway, very sharp man. He went into the hospital feeling kind of with a low-grade infection, and he never came out. He died in the hospital because the infection got out of hand, was resistant to the antibiotics they gave him. And he went in thinking he'd just been for a couple of days for an infection, for a fever, and died. So there's a famous singer. How many of you know the Mamas and the Papas, a singing group? Well, okay. One of the singers in the group died choking on a piece of food that gave her a heart attack. So when I ate too big a piece of grapefruit about a year ago, and I started to choke. My wife tried to do the Heimlich on me, and I'm too big for her to do that. So I ended up coughing the piece of grapefruit back up and was okay. But as I was struggling, I thought, I didn't panic. I thought, well, I'm about to find out what it's all about. So that's maybe the main thing the death meditation course did for me is in the instances I've been in since I took the course where I might die, I haven't panicked. I've been interested in what's going to happen next. So that's the advantage of all this study on death and death meditation and death awareness, is so that you don't panic when the time comes. When I die, nothing except the Dharma can help me. Friends and relatives don't help. Material possessions don't help. The Western concept of the person who dies with the most toys and wins is completely irrelevant since you can't take any of your possessions with you. You lose your body, only your mind is left as you die. Once you've had the direct perception of emptiness, the virtue of that event makes a negative projecting karma not possible. Your virtue, the seeds are too strong. So even a high intellectual understanding of emptiness can make a lesser rebirth not possible. So that's, besides trying to understand the world as I believe it exists now, the better you study, the more complete your knowledge of emptiness, and the stronger you believe in it, the better the chances are you're going to have a good rebirth. Okay. So this comes down to 3 resolutions in reaction to the 3 points of death awareness. Knowing you must die, begin to practice the Dharma. Seriously get back to your Dharma practice if you've had one and let it slide. Study emptiness, keep your vows. Live by the 3 principal paths of renunciation, bodhicitta, and correct view. Understand suffering, generate compassion, and study emptiness whenever you can. I think very importantly, consider your practice to be a day-long event, not just sitting on your cushion. when I hear people say, I finished my practice, I always want to say, you finished your morning practice, but your practice is 24/7. And I challenge you, as I've challenged you before, as you go about your day, see everybody you're running into as your teacher. That guy going slowly on the freeway, and you're going to be late for an appointment. Instead of getting mad at him, if you're going to get mad at anybody, get mad at yourself for not leaving enough time to get to him. We're about 40 minutes away from everything in Tucson. We give ourselves an hour to get to most appointments. And there's several reasons for that. One, I don't like people to be late for appointments to see me. And the only way I can make sure that that stops happening is to be on time for appointments I have with other people. Now, there's a problem with that. If you arrive too early, what are they going to do with you? Well, in a doctor's office, you wait in a waiting room. But if you're going to a friend's house for dinner and you arrive 20 minutes early, that's inconsiderate. So you have to be thinking, and you have to be able to decide how you're going to time it so that you go there at the right moment. So being considerate by being on time or early can be inconsiderate if you're putting the people you're visiting and make it inconvenient for them. So you have to think it all the way through. Let's see. You can die at any time, quit your worldly work, and begin the Dharma today. Does this mean leave your job or your family and go sit in a cave? No, expressly no. We must have income to support ourselves, our families, and our practice. Your practice your Dharma at your work, with your family. Find a job that will give you time to meditate and study. Ask yourself, does your job give you a chance to work on your personal mental afflictions? Let your work constantly remind you of your goal. If you have trouble with vanity, find work where helping others to look great. Choose your work as an opportunity to help you remember your spiritual path. Choose work in which you are serving people. It can make it hard, but very powerful and satisfying. Choose something that will promote your Dharma practice. Any kind of virtuous work, the janitor to the head of a huge company, can be perfect Dharma practice at work. Nothing else can help you practice, only the Dharma. Now, this doesn't mean, like I said earlier, quitting a job, going to Diamond Mountain, for instance, and hoping they'll feed you. Geshe Michael constantly reminded us not to be Dharma bums, but to make it so we're contributing. So he went through the process of explaining how to get to Diamond Mountain. And I've said this before, but it warrants repeating. To get to Diamond Mountain from any other place in the world, obviously you come and visit for the teachings. That's step one. See if you like the environment. If you like the environment, then you have to figure out how to get closer. Now, there were a bunch of students in New York that took the Diamond Way courses on the weekends many years ago. And they would fly out. The courses they needed to take were on Saturday and Sunday. They would fly out right after work from New York, get into Phoenix, drive 2 hours to Diamond Mountain, take the 2 days worth of courses, leave on the red eye Sunday night, and be back to work on Monday. And they did that for how many years now? 6 years. I'm in awe of the people that did that. We were fortunate. We ended up building a house on Diamond Mountain property. And for us, it was just a walk, a nice, easy walk down to the temple and then back home. We didn't have long plane flights or anything like that. So it is possible to make going to teachings and things like that easier than one might expect. But you have to think it through. If you have a family, the first most important thing is your family. They're the strongest karmic objects. Your husband, your wife, your kids are all very powerful karmic objects. So use them in your practice. See them as high karmic objects. Do anything you can to help them and dedicate it. Your parents are high karmic objects. Your boss at work's a high karmic object. See them all as people trying to teach you. And I think you'll find I find life a lot more fun. Sometimes you have to spend some time finding out what they're teaching you, what the example is. But okay, what more do I have to say? See everything around you as happening to you for the purpose of leading you to enlightenment. Death awareness is the foundation for all your practices cultivated now over the summer as part of your life to get your life in order. Make your will. If you have things that family members would like, find out and make sure they will get it. So when your death comes, there are no fights afterwards. So I can't emphasize enough. I really can't. I want to repeat this at least one more time. If you don't have a will, get a will. Get it notarized, get it formalized. You think you're young and it doesn't matter. But instead of thinking about you, think about those that will be taking care of what happens after you die. For instance, I had 55 boxes of research materials for one of my books. I didn't want to leave that for my wife to have to take care of, so I made sure they got shipped to an archive. Now that my award's done and I've received that medal, I'm going to go through my room in my house and I'm going to clean up any last vestiges of those projects, keep what I just can't simply not have, and get the rest off to archives or sold on Amazon. By the time I go to Romania and Armenia, I want to have all that taken care of. So if something happens to me, whoever comes into the house to take care of it will have everything in order and won't be a mess. So I'd really like to see you all do that. If you don't do it formally, do it to where you wouldn't be worried about it if you died. But that's not, you have to do it formally. So, well, that's about it for class. Oh, I need to give the students, Katya is not here. Okay, Svetlana, can you write this down and send it? Katya's got questions 1 5, 9, 13, 17, and 21. Mike has 2, 6, 10, 14, 18, and 22. You have 3, 7, 11, 15, 19, and 23. And Daria, you have 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. Got it? Good. Okay, well, we have review class, and we'll now let me look at my calendar. I want to see if we can possibly squeeze another class, another course in before Romania. Let's see. No. If we start ACI class 9 on 7 July, we'll be on course 7 the day. Well, we won't be teaching because we fly on the 28th. So, well, let me think about it, and we'll have us get a schedule ready, a proposed schedule for classes on next Thursday, this coming Thursday. If we were to start class on the 30th of June, we'd have 2 more classes. No, we almost have to start course 9 right away. Well, I'll think about it and give you some options on Thursday. Okay. Let's dedicate this very short but important class. O Gurus, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, please listen to what I now say. Just as all the previous Sugatas generated the mind of enlightenment and practice in accordance with Bodhisattva precepts, so shall I too, in order to benefit all that lives, give birth to bodhicitta and follow its precepts. By the pureness of the power of my intentions, by the power of the blessings of those gone thus, by the power of the realm of emptiness, may all the goals that I may have and all my wishes, whatever they may be, come true with perfect ease. In all my lives, may I never live apart from my perfect lamas. May I bask in the glory of the Dharma. May I fulfill perfectly every level and path and reach then quickly the place where I become myself, the one who holds the diamond. Okay, well, we'll see if those of you who can make it on Thursday. Katrina will miss you. Have a good trip or whatever you're doing on Thursday.
Me too.
And hi, Anna. And there's Mike. So that's it for course 8. So Mike, what's the drill? We're gonna be able to work it out?
We're gonna be able to work it out.
And how's your cat gonna survive without a, you're just gonna go visit her every day?
Well, I'm gonna find it's either gonna be a luxury hotel or try to find somebody that could take him for like 2 months. Because like I know there's somebody out there that wants to have a cat. It's gonna be like that there is a person in the world that wants to take my cat for 2 months. So I just need to find that person.
Okay. Okay. Well, keep in touch on that. We'll have some stuff we'll need to go over when you get here. So, we'll keep in touch. Mike is going to take care of our house while we're in Romania and Armenia. I'm very pleased because we can get very terrific rainstorms in the monsoon season here in August. And I want someone in the house, so if we get a storm damage, they can do something about it instead of just leaving it sitting there exposed to the elements. So, okay. Thank you everyone for attending class, and we'll figure out what we're going to do with course 9. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. See you Thursday.